Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Pursuant to Article 5, Section 5 of the Belhaven Country Club bylaws, I would like to call the annual meeting of Belhaven Country Club to order.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mary Elizabeth. I think I know just about everybody in the room. Jack Hubbard, president of the board, but not for long. I wanted to start off with just a very, very brief and short overview of this past year. Some of this is going to be redundant to the most recent email that I sent out to membership, but it has been a terrific, terrific year. We've had really strong operational performance. If you go on the website, you can see the monthly financials are posted both on the operating and capital side in an effort to, maintain our commitment to transparency for our membership, of which we are all co-owners of this club. This past year, Sam and his team, every department overperformed. They kept, costs in line in a very, very challenging environment when it came to inflation, labor costs, etc. So the good news is on the operations side, things were great. We're also really lucky and fortunate to have a waiting list now. I believe it's just under 50 families who are in line to join our club. And when you think about where this club was just a few years ago, or even a decade ago, to have that line out the door is really neat, and I think something that sets us up for a great trajectory moving forward. We have frozen all discounted categories with the exception of the legacy category. So all of those members in line are for full active dues. The current rate, the board recently increased the initiation fee to $125,000. That was done after much study and analysis of both the demand that we're experiencing, but also looking at other clubs, our surrounding markets, and various economic factors. So I think we're in a really, really strong position on the capital side moving forward. We've reduced our debt substantially. At last count, it's probably a little lower now. We were at $6.8 million that is still owed to Truist. We eliminated many member fees. We tried to get away from this nickel-dime culture that happened over the years when past boards didn't have the ability to increase, operational dues. So a variety of user fees were put in place, and we wanted to move to a more transparent, all-in system where you understood what your monthly, operating dues would be, and get away from penalizing people for using the club. So we've eliminated a lot of those, and I know that the current board is working toward making the elimination of those fees permanent. The clubhouse, if you've been downstairs, I will tell you it's been pretty rare in my 5 years on the board that I haven't had a single negative comment about something that we've done. And it has been wild rave reviews from the membership about downstairs, and the numbers don't lie. When you look at the vibrancy, when you look at the use, when you look at the revenue that's being generated, it's really, really neat to see, and it's neat to see a great vision come to fruition. And there's two people that I'd like to recognize in addition to our full current board. Bobby Heiser, the amount of effort that man put into this, and he's not here tonight. He flew south to Florida. He's smarter than all of us. He put everything into that project, and it was successful because of him. And I also wanted to recognize Brian Miller, my predecessor, not only an incredible mentor who always took my phone call and helped me deal with some challenging situations, but Bobby had COVID. Brian had to get in front of the membership for an assessment, and he's still standing. And I just got to deliver it on budget or under budget. So downstairs we're looking at being under budget in excess of $200,000, which is great news. The pickle and paddle courts have been a challenge, not driven by anything on our team or our management. It was 100% driven by the county. The good news is, as you've seen, we've broken ground, and I have been assured that by the end of the calendar year, we're going to be up and running. I believe they're pouring concrete for the courts tomorrow. So that's great news. Lighting, is all in place, and from here it should be smooth sailing. So no more issues with the county. But that definitely was a curveball and a challenge for the past year. It took longer than we wanted, but it is what it is, and the team worked through it, and they did a great job. Short game area, delivered on budget. We've also gotten rave reviews about that. The board post-meet is going to be focused on the budget, the bunker project. So I believe the plan is for the bunker renovation to start in January. They're going to make their way through as many bunkers as possible in the off season, and it's going to be done over 2 years so that we can actually make the quality of the bunkers on the course match the quality of those in the short game area that have received very good reviews. So that's the very, very high level overview of this past year. If you've been here, and those of you who show up are the ones who come and use the club, but the vibrancy has been amazing, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank and acknowledge an incredible management team. Culture and performance really flows from the top, and Sam Matari was the right man at the right time with the right project. This is a very different club than it was 10 years ago, and I mean that in the best ways. Sam has recruited incredible talent. He's retained great talent. I'm looking at you, Mike Augustine. So it's not easy running a country club. There's a lot of big personalities who are used to being in charge, and Sam does it with grace, with talent, and he's incredibly competent, and most importantly, this guy knows his numbers better than anybody I've dealt with at this club before, maybe with the exception of Deb, our CFO, who's here. So Deb, thank you for your contribution. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jan Roach. Jan serves on our finance committee, and I am so excited that she has agreed to chair the finance committee next year, taking over from Roger Vrishnahan, who did a terrific job. He was unable to be here tonight, but Roger's term is coming to an end this month, and Jan's going to be taking over for the next 2 years, and I can just tell you, the club is in exceptional hands with Jan at the helm of the finance of the club. So Jan, do you want to come up and share a finance report?
Sure. Hi, good evening, everybody. Like Jack, it's good news to report this year, so it's a pretty good time to be taking over this committee. The other members of my committee are Roger Vrishnahan, Dean Shaw, Nat Spencer, Tim Busby, and Joe Young. And Deb Alley is going to get another shout out because none of this would happen without her. She's fantastic, and we did get a very clean audit report today, and I just learned we got no management letter, which means there's no to-do list coming out of the auditors this year. So that doesn't always happen, so that's fantastic. I've got a bunch of numbers to read. I'll go through them. The operating revenue for the year was $18.4 million, but we spent about $18 million, so that left $400,000 in net revenue. So that gets set aside and helps us pay for expenses and capital expenditures next year. In regards to capital, as Jack mentioned, the initiation fee income was almost $2.6 million net of bad debt. We do have some members that don't pay through on that. While the prior year was $4.6 million. And this income covers our loans, principal, and interest of $800,000, the debenture payments of $1.7, so that was a highlight of this year's financial picture, to be able to repay back those debentures. And it also covers assisting with large capital projects. Capital dues income was $1.3 million, which was similar to the prior year. And this income is used to cover the annual capital expenditures approved by the board. The capital expenditures for fiscal year 25 new items approved were 1.2 million, including leases plus carryover from the prior year of about $500,000 for a total of 1.6 million. However, only 1.1 million was spent in fiscal year 25, which resulted in a little more than $500,000 to be carried over to the fiscal year 2026. And that majority of that is for pickleball courts. So we got most of our to-do list done last year, and we'll finish some up in 2026, mostly pickleball courts. Our cash position as of September 30th, 2025 is 11.2 million. That's unrestricted cash, with restricted cash of about $300,000. As of year end, the committee had a $3 million in short-term treasuries, $4 million in a money market, with a remainder of $4.2 million in an operating bank account. Our debt position, as Jack mentioned, is $6.8 million, and it's owed to Truist Bank. In fiscal year 2025, we paid down $1.7 million of that, as well as the debenture certificates, and $475,000 for Truist Bank loan, for a total pay down of $2.1 million. All really impressive while we're doing a renovation at the same time. Assessment income collected in fiscal year 25. Remember, we had some people that chose to pay their assessments over time rather than the initial lump sum. And the club paid down 1.6 due to members for debenture certificates. Sorry, I already mentioned that. Our assessment income collected in fiscal year 2025 was $3 million plus prior year of $6 million for a total of $9.3 million. And that's what we used to fund our amazing renovation. We budgeted $14.1 million for the renovation, and as Jack already mentioned, it came in about $250,000 under budget. So that is something that I think might be a first time in a long time that happened in the club. I know we can now turn over that history of not coming in on budget, and now we have a history of coming in under budget. And I know that that is from the leadership of the board. It's not just Bobby and Brian, but it's the entire board and the finance committee keeping an eye on all of these expenses, as well, and of course Sam and Debbie. So that's my report. I've already mentioned the audited statements, very, very clean audit opinion. I take any questions, but I probably have to ask Debbie or Sam to help answer them. But okay. Oh, yes.
Where were we compared to our budget? We came in, you said $400,000 with a surplus. Had we budgeted a surplus, or were we budgeting a break-even?
We typically budget to be about, Deb, you'll correct me if I say this wrong. We typically budget to be about zero, because for every dollar we take in operating dues and then some capital revenue gets spent in there too, we budget it to net zero. So yeah, it's pretty good that we were running efficiently. I think also members used the club more than we thought we would during the renovations, because all revenue numbers were higher than we thought.
Angela, that surplus overperformance was due to a stronger demand with new members coming in, paying more dues, which was great. Overperformance in food and beverage, as well as private events, member sponsored. And the $400,000, to answer your question, has been allocated to help reduce all of the fees in this upcoming year. So that $400,000 is being used to make all those fees go away that we talked about. So it's a give back, and the goal is to make that permanent next year.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Good question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Next up, I have the pleasure of presenting our next two board members to our membership. So The first of which, Mr. Menifee, Rob, is someone I've known for quite a while, and he did a great job serving as chair of the Greens Committee. And I'm thrilled that the nominating committee, which was led by Shannon on the board as our board liaison, and we had 3 great members volunteer, interviewed, I believe it was 8 different candidates. We could only say yes to 2 people. So 6 people, we had to disappoint, but I've encouraged them, throw your name in next year, if there's open slots. But the committee chose Rob as one of these candidates. Rob, I know you're gonna do a great job with the board. Welcome and congratulations. The other is Jeff Lowe. I don't think Jeff could be here tonight, but Jeff was the chair of the pool committee. Great guy. He's been a member for, I believe, over 20 years here at the club, and he's going to be joining the board. So congratulations to Jeff, and I'm sure you'll get a chance to meet him when he's back up and running. Lastly, I get to announce the new officers for Belhaven. So first off, Miss Jill Summers. Where's Jill? Jill is going to be the secretary of the board of directors. Jill, thank you. David Childress is a guy I probably sold short in my earlier remarks. There was another person who did a heck of a lot with the construction project. For those of you that don't know David, he lives, eats, and breathes construction. That's what he does for a living. And he's tough. He can be tough in a meeting with some of our contractors, and that was a good thing. He held everybody accountable. So David's going to be serving as treasurer. And David, I know the club's in good hands, and you did a great job on the construction project, and I know you're going to do great in the years to come. So thanks for serving. My friend Joe Guest, where's Joe? Joe is going to be vice president. So Joe, longtime member, a good friend. Joe, I think the club's in great hands. Thank you. And last but not least, Mr. Dan Moss. So Dan is going to be our president. Just say a few things about Dan. Dan and I talk a heck of a lot over the past, we have talked a heck of a lot over the past year. And we've really been connected at the hip, working on a lot of issues facing the club, both good, challenging, I don't want to say bad, but we always worked our way through them. Dan's a lawyer. He's a very, very serious guy. He knows what he's doing, and it's a serious job sometimes, serving as president. And I know he's going to do a great job. So with that, I would say I'm going to hand over the gavel, but we don't have a gavel. So Dan, the podium is yours, and I think I'm out. So thank you.
I live by the old adage of be brief, because I know everybody wants to go get a cocktail and enjoy the new downstairs. I want to thank the board for putting their faith in me. I've been on the board now for 4 years, so this will be my last 2 years. I started with Shannon, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of learning experience. It's great to be under the tutelage of Bobby and Brian and Jack and to sort of carry that legacy. The biggest challenge that's facing the club going forward is complacency. We have the wind at our back, we've got money in our pocket, we've got a membership line out the door, and we have an agenda of things to do to keep us where we are and to grow us into the next generation. A couple of the items on my agenda for the coming year that you guys will hear about when I send out a nice email in January is developing a new strategic plan for the club. The last strategic plan expired, coincidentally, around this year. And if you went back and looked at that, you would be shocked at what it is that they said this club could not do. This club was going to be stuck, stagnant, and difficult paying down the debt. We've achieved much more than that ever predicted, and now we need to preserve it, and we need to protect it, and we need to figure out a way to grow it. We're going to have a lot of competing demands as to where this club goes, what we want to do to invest in both capital and infrastructure around the place, and then what we do to be on the cutting edge. And as Sam has said, and I'm going to hold him to this promise, be the best club in Northern Virginia. So with that, we'll be commissioning a nice strategic plan that'll sort of guide us for the next couple of years as to where we invest and allocate our dollars as members and how we grow it and retain it and attract new members to it. I'm excited to take this challenge on. It'll be a fun 2 years, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you all around the club. And if there are no further questions, we can adjourn for the evening. but happy to open up to anybody that wants to say or question anything. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm John O'Hanlon. Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Hey, I've been a member since the early 90s. I'm over 65. So I'm a senior member here. So I recently decided I was going to opt in for the elected membership. And so I was talking to colleagues, like a buddy of mine over at Congressional, is talking about what I was doing. And he said, yeah, we have a senior program, is how I think a lot of us refer to it. And he says, our senior program is at 65 after 30 years. There's no dues. You continue to vote, and there's no restrictions on playing or anything like that. I said, well, that's interesting. That's a pretty liberal plan. And I spoke to a friend of mine over at Washington Golf, and their program for senior memberships is 30 years, 65, and they get full playing rights. They don't take away the voting rights. Here at Belle Haven, on the elected membership, I could have this off. Basically, they cut the dues in half. You lose your weekend playing privileges, and you lose your right to vote. And being somebody who's been here over 30 years and literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars here, I'd like to see our board, under your new leadership, so maybe take a look at our senior program or elected membership program and compare it to those with the clubs in the area to make sure we're up to par, because I don't think we want it to be punitive compared to other clubs. And I think, I don't know if that's ever been done here, but I came here to suggest that we do it. So thank you for hearing me.
No, John, I appreciate that very much. Elizabeth and Vac, that's something we'll definitely take a look at. I think it's always good to refresh and make sure that we're keeping up with current trends, both of our peers and of where things are heading. So I think that's a great suggestion. Happy to take a look at that and give that all the attention it deserves. I really appreciate bringing the comment.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Could you touch briefly on what are the next expanded plans here at the club, or you're thinking about?
There's nothing set in stone yet. You're going to see come in January a survey on the pool and athletic facility. We want to take a pulse as to exactly what the membership currently feels about the existing facility, what they would like should we decide to go down the path of renovating. And I say renovate, like we're not blowing the whole thing up, we're not going to tear both sides down, but we've had some preliminary conversations. Derek Norton, one of our members, has designed something that's a very interesting pool design based upon the feedback we've received thus far. And all of it, in theory, is within a range of budget that we think we could afford. I don't want to give the numbers because it's too tentative, it's too early, and it's too speculative at this point in time, particularly, Lord knows what construction costs will be in a year or two on that front. But we're going to do some extensive diligence on that starting in January and hopefully be able to come back to the membership mid-year with a plan and proposals to where we're going to go forward for both spaces. Yes, ma'am.
Deanna, Angela Ayers, who's going to be doing the strategic plan? Is it something that the board's going to do, or are we going to outsource that with a consultant?
Mixture of both. You're going to have some board members who are actively involved in it, and there's going to be a committee, and there'll be some town halls and other events throughout the year. The same firm that did the strategic plan 10 years ago will be the same firm retained now, given they've got a history and knowledge of the club. They're very impressed with, obviously, everything that's happened in the past 10 years. So they have our special country club consulting business, where they have a pulse on everything that's going on across the country from various different clubs.
Thank you.
Sure. No. Brian, yes, of course.
I just asked that we take 1 second to another round of applause for Jack's great job.
He's been very much looking forward to this evening, and I'm very sad to see him go. Although he has agreed to be on the disciplinary committee, so that's his retirement gift.
I hope not to see you there.
Anything else for the sake of good order? Thank you all very much. Have a happy Christmas.
Yeah.